Hi, mountain conquerors. Have you ever stood at the base of a mountain and thought to yourself, I can never climb that? I'm talking about the mountain in your life, not just the ones that touch the sky, but those towering obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. What if I told you that there's no mountain too high, that you can climb it, conquer it, and own it? Would you believe me? Part 1. The Call to Adventure. Imagine this. You're standing at the base of a mountain that stretches beyond the sky. The clouds wrap around its jagged peaks like a crown of challenge. The wind screams in your ears like a warning or maybe a dare. The ground beneath your feet feels stable, safe, familiar. But that safety is exactly what's keeping you small. You look up, and it looks impossible. The air is cold. Your heart is pounding. Every inch of your body tells you, turn back. But something inside you whispers, no, not this time, because you weren't born to stay at the bottom. No great story ever began with someone who refused to climb. Legends aren't made in comfort zones. And in this very moment, you remember something powerful. You weren't made to shrink yourself for the sake of fear. You were built to rise. That mountain, it's not just rock and ice. It's your dream, your trauma, your self-doubt. It's every failure that told you you weren't enough. Every voice that laughed when you dared to dream bigger. Every sleepless night when you asked yourself, can I really do this? And now it's standing right in front of you. But so are you. Let me take you into the life of someone just like you. Someone with scars, fears, and 1,000 reasons to give up. Not a superhero, not a millionaire, just a regular soul with an uncommon fire. He didn't have the answers. He didn't have a map. But he had the most dangerous thing of all, the courage to begin. This man had tasted failure more times than he could count. He'd been laughed at, underestimated, and left behind. People said, you, climb that? Don't be stupid. They didn't see the storm inside him. They didn't see how that one voice, the one that refused to die, kept whispering, just take the first step. The journey of 1,000 miles doesn't begin with a leap. It begins with the decision to no longer stand still. He stood at the foot of the unknown, hands trembling, breathing shaky, but he placed one foot forward, and then another. And in that moment, everything changed. Not because the mountain got smaller, but because he got bolder. This is where transformation begins, not at the top, but at the moment you say, I don't care how high it is. I'm going up anyway. The climb didn't promise comfort. It offered blisters, pain, bruises, exhaustion. And yet, step by step, he kept moving. The world above didn't reward him with ease. It tested him with chaos. There were nights when he couldn't breathe, mornings when his legs wouldn't move, moments when he screamed into the void. Why the hell am I doing this? But you see, pain is not the enemy, stagnation is. You'll never grow wings while clinging to the ground. Every struggle carved him into something tougher. Every fall reminded him how to rise. Every cruel moment from his past gave him one more reason to never turn back. He wasn't just climbing a mountain. He was becoming the person who could. And here's the truth no one tells you. Mountains don't care about your fears. Dreams don't wait for your perfect timing. And destiny doesn't knock twice. So you either answer the call now, or you spend your life wondering what could have been. That man? He didn't wait for motivation. He created it. With every step, he became addicted to the rise, to the pain that proved he was alive, to the battle between who he was and who he was becoming. Because when you climb with heart, Every drop of sweat becomes sacred. Every ache becomes holy. Every doubt becomes fuel. Some people watch the storm from their window. Others become the lightning. And here's where you come in. This could be your story. No matter where you come from. No matter who doubted you. No matter how many times you've failed, this mountain, this moment, this madness, it's yours to own. If you dare. So take that first step. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now. Because the mountain isn't just waiting. It's calling. And maybe, just maybe, this time you'll answer. Part 2. The struggle begins. The climb begins. At first, there's energy, fire, confidence. You take that bold first step like a warrior stepping into battle. The air is still electric from your decision to rise. Your heart beats like a war drum, telling the world, I'm coming for the top. But then reality steps in. The terrain shifts. The slope steepens. And that fire? It begins to flicker. At the start, the path seemed thrilling. But now, hours into the ascent, your legs begin to ache, your lungs gasp for breath, and your mind, your mind becomes your greatest enemy. It's easy to roar at the start of the journey. It's harder to whisper, keep going, when your soul is tired. The sun disappears behind the clouds. You're drenched in sweat. The wind that once felt inspiring now cuts like blades. With every step, your thoughts grow louder. What was I thinking? This is too much. Maybe they were right about me. You look up, and the summit still looks impossibly far. But here's the truth about struggle. It's not punishment. It's preparation. Every great warrior, every legend, every history maker has passed through this valley of doubt. What separates the climbers from the quitters is not talent, not strength, but grit. This is where most people stop. Right here, in this quiet war zone where dreams are slaughtered not by failure, but by fatigue. The mountain doesn't defeat you with height. It breaks you in the moments you hesitate. You trip. Your knee scrapes against the sharp edge of a hidden rock. Blood trickles down your leg. And for a moment, it's tempting to just stay down. Why not? No one would blame you. No one would even notice if you turn back now. But then, something changes. You remember why you started. You remember that this isn't just a climb. It's your rebellion against everything that ever tried to keep you small. And in that brutal, raw silence between one breath and the next, you tell yourself, this is exactly where I'm meant to be. Because the storm isn't the end of you. It's the birthplace of your next version. When everything is shaking, that's when foundations are built. You stand up, slowly, painfully. But this time, you're not just climbing with muscles. You're climbing with meaning. Every sore muscle becomes a badge. Every bruise becomes a memory. Every slip becomes a lesson. Because it's in the struggle that the real climb begins. The mountain doesn't just test your body. It questions your spirit. Can you keep going when no one is watching? Can you keep climbing when there's no applause, no spotlight? Just you. And the next step? This is where champions are born. In the invisible grind, the silent nights, the internal battles no one claps for. Growth never screams. It whispers through pain. And just when you think you can't go any further, a storm hits. Wind slams against your chest like an unseen hand. Rain pelts your face like a warning. The sky turns gray. The rocks get slippery. The mountain laughs, or so it feels. And still, you refuse to quit. Why? Because this isn't about making it look easy. It's about making it happen when it's hard. You start talking to yourself out loud. Just one more step. You grit your teeth. You punch the air in frustration. You scream into the wind. Is this all you got? And for the first time, the mountain stays silent. Not because it's beaten you, but because it recognizes it's something rare. You're not just another climber. You're the one who doesn't stop. It's not about how fast you reach the top. It's about how fierce you become while rising. So, yes, you will fall. Yes, you will doubt. Yes, the weight will crush you some days. But in that crushing, something extraordinary will happen. You'll discover a version of yourself you never knew existed. A version forged by sweat, sharpened by setbacks, and fired in the furnace of fear. This isn't the peak. Not yet. But it's the chapter that separates the average from the relentless. The mountain still looms above. The path is still dangerous. But now, there's a fire in your eyes. Because now, the moment you feel like quitting is the moment just before the breakthrough. Part 3, the moment of doubt and realization. Then comes that moment. Not just a moment of silence. Not just fatigue. This is the moment that makes or breaks everything. Your legs? Shaking. Your lungs? Burning. Your thoughts? Loud, chaotic, filled with shadows. Your heart? Still beating, but unsure why. You stop. Hands on knees. Chest rising and falling like you just ran through fire. The mountain looms higher than ever before, but now, something inside feels heavier than the mountain itself. You whisper, "Why did I even start this?" In every warrior's path, there's a moment when quitting sounds like mercy. This isn't the beginning where everything was exciting, and it's not the end where victory feels close. This is the middle. The brutal, unforgiving middle, where most souls are lost. You look up. The summit is smothered by thick, cruel clouds. The trail ahead is steep, cold, and endless. The silence around you is deafening, almost mocking. And in that silence, your mind screams. Turn back. Enough is enough. This isn't worth it. The pain is no longer just physical. It's emotional, spiritual, existential. And that's exactly where transformation happens. Not in triumph, but in doubt. Because this mountain was never just about elevation. It was about excavation, digging deep inside you, unearthing the raw, uncomfortable, untouched parts of your soul. Sometimes it's not the climb that breaks you. It's meeting the version of yourself you've been avoiding. You drop to your knees. The cold stone bites your skin. You're exhausted in every possible way. And yet, something incredible is happening. In this absolute weakness, you meet your true power. You see, the mountain doesn't want to break you. That's a myth. The mountain is just a mirror, showing you who you are without filters. And here's the truth that hits hardest. You're not tired of climbing. You're tired of doubting yourself. The real weight isn't your backpack. It's the years of inner criticism. It's the voice inside your head that keeps whispering, "You're not enough. You don't belong here. You'll fail like always." But then, something shifts. You stop thinking. You start feeling. And within that fog of pain, your mind flashes back to the first step you ever took, to the moment you dared to start this journey, to the people who told you you couldn't, and you decided you would anyway. You didn't start climbing to prove them wrong. You started to prove yourself right. And now, you realize something powerful, maybe for the first time in your life. This struggle is sacred. Every ache in your bones is proof that you're still fighting. Every tear is proof that you care. Every voice telling you to quit is just fear in disguise. And fear is the final test before freedom. So you rise, not because the pain is gone, not because you found some sudden burst of energy, but because in this darkness, you found something more important than motivation. Meaning, you get back on your feet, slowly, steadily. You wipe the blood off your hands, the sweat off your face. You look up, not at the summit, but beyond it. You're not just climbing a mountain anymore. You're rising into the person you were always meant to become. The mountain may be real, but the summit exists first in the mind. You realize now, the greatest enemy was never the altitude, it was your attitude. The steepest slope wasn't the terrain, it was your thoughts. And the coldest winds weren't outside. They were the ones that blew through your self-belief. But now you know that doubt is part of the process. You know that breaking down isn't weakness, it's a reset. And you know that every time you refuse to quit, even when you could, you multiply your strength. You take another step. This one's different. It's not just physical, it's symbolic. It's the step that says, I will finish this climb, not because I have to, but because I finally believe that I can. And that's the moment that changes everything. Part 4, the climb and the triumph. And then it happens. You stop thinking. You stop hesitating. You just move, step after step. One boot, one breath, one heartbeat at a time. The pain? Still there. The cold? Still biting. But now, you're immune to fear. Not because it left, but because you've walked through it and survived. Fear didn't disappear. You just got stronger. The air grows thinner. Every breath becomes a treasure. The wind howls louder now, almost like the mountain knows this is the final test. But it doesn't scare you anymore, because now you've made peace with the battle. You stopped begging for ease. You've embraced the grind. You know every jagged rock beneath your feet has taught you how to balance. Every storm has taught you how to bend, not break. Every fall has taught you how to rise. And now you climb, not in a frenzy, but with focus. This is not a sprint. This is a sacred ritual. Each step is a declaration. I am becoming. I am becoming. I am becoming. Your muscles are sore beyond belief. Your hands are scraped raw, but your spirit? Unshakable, because you now understand something most never will. Mountains don't move for you, but they will surrender to those who climb with heart. The wind turns vicious. Ice cracks beneath you. A misstep could send you tumbling down, but you don't flinch. You keep going, driven, determined, alive. And then, without warning, the clouds begin to thin. Just a little, then more. A golden shimmer begins to cut through the mist like hope cracking open the sky. You squint. Is that the summit? Yes, it is. It's there. Finally, after all the pain, all the doubt, all the storms, it's there. And your legs? They surge forward like they've waited their whole life for this. Your heart beats louder than the wind now. Your eyes well with tears, not of weakness, but of something far more powerful. Fulfillment. You take those final steps like a king returning to his throne. No fanfare, no camera, no applause, just the sound of your own soul saying, you did it. You reached the summit, and time stands still. You stand there breathless, not because the air is thin, but because the moment is thick with meaning. The sky opens up. The sun breaks through like a spotlight from the heavens. And before you, not below, not beside, but before you lies the most breathtaking view you've ever seen in your life. You don't just see it, you feel it. It's not the colors. It's not the height. It's the truth of this moment. A truth earned in blood, sweat, tears, and relentless belief. It's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. Sir Edmund Hillary. You laugh. You cry. You scream into the sky. I did it. Because those 3 words don't just describe the victory. They declare the rebirth. This isn't the same you who started. That person is gone, left behind with every fear buried on the trail. Now, you're something else entirely. You've faced your demons. You've walked through storms. You've stared into the abyss and said, "Not today." And now you own the mountain. The wind still blows. The rocks are still jagged. The clouds still roam. But nothing feels threatening anymore because now you realize the mountain was never your enemy. It was your mirror. Hard paths don't harden you. They reveal you. You sit, breathe, let all soak in. The silence is no longer lonely. It's sacred. The cold is no longer painful. It's refreshing. The view is no longer intimidating. It's yours. Because you didn't get lucky. You didn't cheat. You didn't stumble your way here. You earned every single inch. And that's what makes the view divine. Not just the height, but the history, the battle, the grit, the refusal to give in when everything screamed, give up. The beauty isn't just in the summit. It's in the scars. It's in every moment you wanted to quit but didn't. It's in every step you took with nothing left in the tank. It's in that 1 second where you whispered, "Keep going," and somehow you did. So now, standing here, you realize this climb wasn't about the top. It was about who you had to become to reach it. Part 5. The power to inspire others. You made it. You climbed the impossible. You conquered your mountain. You faced every fear and refused to kneel. But here's the truth no one prepares you for. The summit isn't the end. It's the beginning of something even greater. Because now, this isn't just about you anymore. Your journey, your pain, your breakthrough, your roar, it's no longer a private victory. Now, it has the power to shake worlds, to ignite hearts, to wake up the warriors still sleeping inside others. You've been through the fire, and now you are the flame. Be the light that sets others ablaze, not by preaching, but by proving what's possible. Your scars are no longer something to hide. They're symbols, badges, stories etched in skin and soul that say, "I've been to the edge, and I came back stronger." Look around. The world is filled with people standing at the base of their own mountains. Afraid, alone, tired before they even start. And guess what? They're waiting for you. Not for a guru, not for a perfect human being, but for someone real. Someone who walked the road and isn't afraid to say, "It was hard, but I made it." And so can you. You see, the greatest gift you carry from your climb isn't just the view. It's the perspective. Once you've stood at the summit, your voice carries the weight of truth. Now you have a choice. Let the climb stay yours alone, or turn back, extend your hand, and pull someone else up. Because leadership isn't a title. It's a decision. It's waking up and saying, "I'm going to light the path, not just walk it." You start telling your story, maybe in a whisper, maybe on a stage, maybe in silence, just by living boldly. You start planting seeds. A word here, a gesture there, a look of confidence that says, I've been where you are, and you're stronger than you think. You begin to realize every mountain you conquer gives you a voice loud enough to wake the sleeping giants around you. You've become something bigger than a climb. You become a signal fire, a living, breathing reminder that it's possible. Not perfect, not easy, but possible. And suddenly, something wild happens. You see someone else take their first step. A young woman who thought she was too broken. A man who spent his life stuck in shame. A teenager drowning in silence. A dreamer who buried their fire years ago. They begin to move, not because you pushed them, but because your existence gave them permission to try. True greatness isn't measured by how high you go, but by how many you lift as you rise. This is your real legacy. It's not in the photos at the peak. It's not in the applause. It's in the ripples. The quiet, invisible impact of courage passed from one soul to another, like a torch that refuses to go out. You begin to understand now. Success isn't the summit. Success is the climb shared. Success is being the voice someone hears in the dark saying, "Don't quit. The light is just around the corner." You think back to that moment, the one where you almost gave up, and you smile, because that moment was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to shape you, so you could become the one who understands what it means to fight your way through. The wound that almost broke you becomes the wisdom that helps others heal. And now, when someone says, "But I'm scared," you'll say, "So was I." When they say, "But I've failed before," you'll say, "So did I." When they whisper, "But I don't think I'm enough," you'll look them in the eyes and say, "Neither did I until I proved myself wrong." That's the gift. That's the mission. That's the final, sacred purpose of your climb. To reach back and say, "Come on, it's your turn now." Because your story isn't just a victory. It's a call to arms for every silent warrior still wondering if they can. And when they ask you what it takes, you won't hand them a checklist. You'll hand them truth. It takes guts, grit, fire, and one terrifying, beautiful decision to take the first step. No mountain is too high to climb if you have the courage to begin. So ask yourself now, not just as a climber, but as a leader, what's your next mountain? Is it inside you? Is it helping someone else up? Is it becoming the guide you once needed? Whatever it is, I dare you. Climb it, conquer it, and own it, because now you know the view is incredible, but the power to lift others, that's the real summit. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.